difficult terrain ahead.
Well, with Mount Nemo now behind us, one of these little ham cans.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 26 on the Bruce Trail northbound through hike attempt. It is Friday, the 31st of May. Beautiful morning, but a chill in the air, just like yesterday. Obviously, we're under the influence of a high pressure. Yesterday was perfect weather. I suspect today will be the same. And tomorrow will be our second zero on this hike. Yes, it will. And then after that, I think I have about 9 days of hiking left to put this puppy to bed. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my day. So today's our final slackpacking day, by the way, which has been really helpful to me. Although very much a struggle with the shuttle rides, but still, Joanne tries her best. So we shuttled today to the far side, the west side of Owen Sound, and we're hiking back around 29 kilometers, or 28.8 or 28.9, just say 29 kilometers for now, back to the 6th concession, which is where we actually started yesterday. Oh, nice intersection with no markings. Oh, there's people with a dog. But anyhow, so let's just see. Let's see how the day makes out. Good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good, we're good.
Right on. Okay. So we have a young lady walking her dog this morning. Met two charming ladies yesterday on trail in the Bayview escarpment. That was just delightful to meet them. They're both working on their end-to-end of the Bruce Trail. And one lady is working on her end-to-end for the second time. I think her name, was it Viola? No, I really should just have a little pencil and a little paper in my pocket when I meet people, write down their names, because they're such lovely, wonderful people, and yet I simply disrespect them by just not being able to recall their names properly. Anyhow, I think the one lady was Viola. I think she's working on her second end to end of the Bruce Trail. You go Viola, and the other lady, she was just filling in on a section that she'd missed before. But she's actually just completed the Sydenham section. She has the Peninsula section left to do. So I hope you girls see this video and you know who you are. Okay. Yeah. So today, heading southbound, as I mentioned earlier, our final day of slack packing. So we're heading from, I guess, the Jones Falls area, or the west side of Owen Sound, southbound to the 6 concession, which is where we actually started yesterday, going southbound. But right now we're about 1.42 kilometers from the English Falls. And at the English Falls, that's where we're going to take a break. It's one of the most interesting falls on the hike. A lot of people think it's the most spectacular. I don't. I like other ones better. But nevertheless, it's still a beautiful waterfall. So we're going to be there, I don't know, half an hour, let's say. And that'll be a break. And then we'll continue pushing south from there through, I think it's called the Palisades, to Highway 6, across Highway 6, and then continue on. Today, what do we see? Well, we'll see the Polish tree. That's something that's quite spectacular. Back in the day, Second World War, there was a training camp here in Owen Sound, and soldiers from Canada and different places, I believe, Poland, obviously one of them, came here to train, and then of course fight the Nazi regime in the Second World War. And one Polish soldier carved his name and something along the lines of "Poland will not fall," or Poland. Just proud of his country and what he was doing. Well, today, those carvings are very much there in the tree. I've mentioned it before. Well, we're going to see that again today. And that is truly a spectacular piece of history here in Ontario. Because if it wasn't for men like that Polish gentleman, life could be so very different today. They saved our freedom. They did. They saved our freedom. Back a couple of years ago here in Canada, we had a bunch of essentially idiots that had this trucker blockade and convoy, and they called it the Fight for Freedom, because all the stores were closed and, you know, COVID, right? Some people thought their rights were taken away. And I met one lady on a hike, and she said, "Oh, did you go to Ottawa for the Fight for Freedom?" And I said, "No." She said, "Oh, you should have been there." She said, "It was beautiful." I said, "What were they fighting for?" She said, "Our freedom." I said, "Oh, ma'am, our grandparents, they already fought that battle." Yes, they did. They already fought that battle. You can maybe hear the rushing waters of the English Falls. We get a good view right here. Oh yeah. Let me take you out of my sternum strap. Hopefully you can see. How beautiful. Oh yeah. Lots of water going across those falls today. Oh, here's a better view, I think. Oh yeah. Oh, here you can see the canyon below. Wow. Very Colorado-ish, yeah? I think so. Take a look-see at that. Woo! Wow, let's see if we can capture a picture of that. This reminds me a little bit of the whites on the Appalachian. Oh yeah, for sure it does. The only difference is on the whites, it's steeper. And it goes on for mile after mile after mile. Whereas here on the Bruce, this is going to last you nothing more than a short distance, a shorter period of time. Yes, it is. Squirrel not liking us invading his territory. And I think we're getting closer to highway number 6, and we finished the Palisades. Now that, to be quite honest with you, the Palisades were challenging today, and that's slack packing. They were still challenging. I'm gonna find a little spot up here and call it lunch break. That's what I'm gonna do. Find somewhere to sit. I see some rocks. Oh yeah, I see some rocks. Yeah. Whew. Okay. I think this rock right here, this one, might work. So I think that's the one we're going to look closely at. After lunch, just trying to cross the highway. The trail continues across the street. But it's a busy highway. I think this is 6 and 21. Maybe this is my spot. Let's go. Okay, we're across Superior Street and 9th Avenue. So we crossed 9th Avenue. Trail continues down Superior Street. Okay. I think now, well, it's 14.1 kilometers to the 6th concession, which is our pickup point. And that's also where we started southbound yesterday. So time is probably, well, let's see. The Palisades was definitely challenging and slowed me down. The time is 20 to 1. So yeah, it certainly slowed me down to the Palisades, but that's quite normal for that kind of terrain. With a busted knee and massive arthritis in my lower left back and my lower left hip. Do I whine or do I whine?
No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip, for the stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip, big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town.
The first time I through hiked the Bruce Trail was in 2019, and it was a great hike, and the trail was amazing. It was very well maintained. The volunteers, the conservancy, and so on worked very, very hard to make it an accessible trail for people like me and you. But something that stood out was the fact that the Sydenham section won first prize. Now this, they won first prize. Now this was in 2019. And in 2024, now, once again, the Sydenham section wins first prize. Undoubtedly. There's nobody even close to them. Outstanding job, guys. You guys are the worst, absolutely worst blazers. Bunch of trailblazers I've ever met. Oh yeah, there's a blaze there. Yeah, and quite often there's one on the tree next to it. And yet, you'll go along the trail for several hundred yards, make 2 or 3 turns, and there's not one blaze to identify that. It's just bullshit. You guys, once again, get first place for the worst trailblazers known to mankind. Just want to mention that. Congratulations, Sydenham section. The Polish tree that we spoke about earlier, I don't know exactly what it says. There's one poppy, but I certainly hope this doesn't go away, because to me it's a tribute to very, very, very determined people. 1940, I don't know. Can you see 1940? I don't know. Sad to say. The actual carvings have been here now, well, let's say that says 45, so 55, 65, 75, 79 years. Wow. With about 3 kilometers left to go. About an hour, because I am on a gravel road again right now. But let's not be deceived by that. Today has been a grueling, grueling day. It's a challenging section around Owen Sound, especially the Palisades. There's a lot of rock, a lot of climbing, very reminiscent of the Whites, except a very, very small amount of it compared to the Whites. Whereas the Whites goes on for mile after mile after mile after mile, day after day after day. These sections on the Bruce Trail are very short. So you get a day that really works you hard, but that's about it. Okay, so having said that, tomorrow, today's Friday, the 31st of May, tomorrow will be a 0, and then Sunday morning, bright and early, I will push out of the west side of Owen Sound for a 3-day hop to Wyerton. After that, it'll be a 3-day hop to Lion's Head, and after that, the same again, give or take, to Tobermory. I think from Wyerton it's about 161 kilometers or something like that to Tobermory. Anyhow, I did book myself a motel for my night stay in Wyerton. That's because I can then charge for the last time my battery banks and stuff, make sure I've got enough power for vlogging for the remaining 6 days. Plus it'll be the last chance to shower and so on. So yeah, that is the plan as we see it. So you know what? I called Joanne. She will pick me up in about an hour for 6 concession. I've reached the west side of Owen Sound, as I said. Oh, by the way, when I get to Wyerton, we'll also leave the Sydenham section and enter the final section, which is the peninsula section. So, I've got a lot of things coming up after my 0. Tomorrow, I'll resupply, check all my gear, put all my gear together, make sure everything's good to go for Sunday morning, and we'll do the last push, a total of 9 days. Give or take a day. Probably give a day, probably take a day. I don't know, but if we had to, we'll see. We'll see. Anyhow, today, 28.8 kilometers. So again, one more good, solid slack packing day. Yeah, and I'm actually delighted with that. So I'll probably sign off for day 26. I believe it's 26. Day's 26. I'll sign off right now. And not sure if I'll have much to say on my 0. But if I do, and then I will say it. If not, we'll see you bright and early Sunday morning, which would actually be, I think, then day 28. Yeah. Okay, guys. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, comment, do subscribe to my channel. Please, we need all the subscribers we can get. We're pushing hard to reach that 1,000. Yes, we are.